Everyone, the Sports Shorts Daily presented by LeBear's Casino. Ronnie Rance here with you, presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. TK joining us from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I'm here at Carter Plantation Golf Course. Going to be out here for a charity event for the Livingston Parish Chamber of Commerce fundraiser golf tournament. And, of course, representing the Baton Rouge Rougarou while we're here. How about this, Tommy? Today, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be on hole number 6 on the tee box, and I'm the talker of money, right? I'm the guy raising money for some scholarship programs, and Buzzy Heidel is the pro driver. So what happens is you make a donation, Buzzy hits the drive off of tee box number 6. Wherever the ball lands, you play number 1 from that spot. So a lot of pressure on the Buzz today.
Oh, that's good. Buzzy needs some pressure. No question about that. Glad to hear that. I hope it's a great event for y'all, and I'm sure it'll be fun.
So that's what we got going on over here. TK's over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Big weekend for them because, of course, tailgating. We got Saints in action. You got folks going to be watching football. No LSU. So a lot of weddings this weekend. I was here at Carter Plantation for a wedding. Look, they even have part of the wedding decorations are still up from this past weekend. A lot of people going to be having weddings over here in at Greystone and all that over the weekend. But today on Sports Shorts Daily, we're going to talk about a couple of things. One, you see me rocking the Baton Rouge Rougarou. It's not in season. Our season starts June and July, of course. It's a summer college baseball team that plays in the Texas Collegiate League. But the Rougarou have gotten a lot of love this week. We'll tell you about Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports, how the Rougarou jersey has been showing up all over social media this week. Also, today we'll talk about the Giant story. If you ever wanted to date and maybe marry a Victoria's Secret model, now's your chance, because it's expected that Tom Brady and Giselle are going to file divorce papers today, is what's to be expected. And unbelievable, Tommy, how Tom Brady decided he would rather blow up his marriage than to quit football. I mean, that's what's being reported, is that she did not want him to go back to pro football. She was hell-bent on, you need to retire and spend time with your family. He said no, even though they're 3-5. He's not giving up, and instead he's gonna throw away a marriage. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, and first time ever in his career, he's 2 games under 500. That's kind of shocking, but hey, he's Tom Brady. But you're right. I mean, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but quite the story. They lose last night. He files divorce today. I mean, wow, got to be tough on the world. I think the story is going to be when do we hear that one of them is dating someone? Okay, like, I mean, is that going to be Christmas time or next spring? I mean, then of course it'll all come back up. And I would say this, Ronnie, and I'm just thinking of this right now. This is his last year to play football, especially because Tampa's a train wreck. I think he's going to retire after this year.
But maybe not, Tommy. Maybe not
right?
now.
Well, but I mean, Father Time's undefeated, man. We'll see,
when you look at his numbers, they're not bad. Okay.
Hey,
now,
you can't see the screen. Chance says Brady will now play till he's 50.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that basically he's been playing under duress. Now, it's his own doing, and you can't necessarily blame his wife at the 45, 46 years old. She's like, I mean, when's enough? I mean, I've been raising your kids. You've been gone. I've been doing this for a decade or more. And so, there's a part of me that doesn't, I'm sure for many years he probably said one more year. And she's like, okay, well, obviously you're not being honest. And so now he's at a point where, if you're going to lose your marriage, I'm talking about Tom Brady and Giselle, if you're going to lose your marriage over this issue that you want to play, well, then if you're stubborn enough to do that, Tommy, you're stubborn enough to say, you know what, now I'm going to play till whenever I want to stop. And look, quarterback-wise, he's still a good enough quarterback to start in the NFL and be very good. I think the problem is not necessarily Tom. Yeah, he's slowed down a little bit, but it's more about the lack of that offensive line, the lack of firepower in the run game, the lack of firepower at the wide receiver positions. They just don't have the explosive players. But his numbers are fine. He's not really turning the ball over per se. It's just they're not getting touchdowns.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot to think about, I'm sure. He might be tossing and turning at night and not getting a lot of sleep. Who knows? But, it's a major story, obviously, because he's Tom Brady. She's a world famous model. I mean, it's a major story, and it's going to get talked about all weekend on all the NFL games, all the shows like ours, and the radio and the print. It's going to be everywhere for a couple of days.
Listen, it goes to show that when you look at Tom Brady, you look at Aaron Rodgers and the struggles that he's had with the Green Bay Packers, you can't do it by yourself. Football is not a one-person game. It is an 11-man game. And when you take away the weapons from both of those guys, when there's no Antonio Brown or Gronkowski or, other dynamic receivers, Adams up in Green Bay, even the greatest of the greats can be mortal. And that's what we're seeing. Aaron Rodgers hasn't slowed down. The guy was the MVP the last couple of years. Tom Brady was putting up tremendous numbers last year. Yeah, he may have slowed down a little, but these guys are still top level quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers is still a great quarterback, but they just don't have the weapons, largely because of the salary cap is a real thing in the NFL, and it's affected those teams. And so we're seeing it. But it's an unbelievable story that's developing with Gisele and Tom Brady. The Saints find themselves this week. We've been saying it for many, many weeks. A must-win situation. What's the latest on the line, TK?
Saints are getting 1.5 over and under 49.5, 12 noon in the Superdome.
Of those two things, the 1.5 and the 49.5, what do you like the best as far as
I think the Saints in 1.5. I mean, there's no telling how many, who will be hot, who won't be. Andy Dalton's going to start, although Jameis Winston's healthy, according to Coach Allen. So we're just going to have to wait and see on that. If I had to bet it, and I don't know if I will, right now today, I'd go Saints plus 1.5.
Let me ask you this, TK. The Saints made the decision to go with Dalton at quarterback, even though Jameis Winston's completely healthy. They said it was a performance-based decision. It had nothing to do with health. So clearly they're saying right now they think Andy Dalton gives them the best chance to win. Surprising to you? Do you think that's the way it'll be the rest of the year?
Well, somebody else said this. I didn't say this. Somebody said the eyeball test tells you to play Winston, but the stats tell you to play Dalton. Okay. And I'm sure that's, they looked at all factors. And Dalton, in spite of them pick sixes out in the desert when you were there, I mean, he performed better. He moved the team down the field more often. Yeah, he's had mistakes, but everybody has turnovers and mistakes. So, obviously the Saints coaching staff knows a whole lot more about it than we do or the fans do. And that's what they think gives them the best chance to win. I guarantee you they think that's what gives them the best chance to win.
Well, I don't, I personally, and I talked about it right here on the show, I personally would like to see them play Winston because I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference between the two. And I think that we know that Dalton, much like a Teddy Bridgewater or even a Taysom Hill, like you might be able to get by with these guys for a few games or even part of a year, but they're not the long-term solution. And so is Jameis Winston, does he have a chance to come back and be a true starting quarterback in this league, be a franchise quarterback, be a top 15 quarterback in the league? And I think the verdict is still out on him. And so I kind of honestly would like to see the Saints just roll the dice and go with them. They've given him this money, signed him to a 2-year deal. They believed he was good enough to be the starting quarterback all off season. They didn't go elsewhere. Let's go. Let's see what's out there. And I mean, do we really think that Andy? I don't know. Maybe at some point when the record, because the division's so terrible that even 2-5, you're not completely out of it. But maybe at some point, they can if they do get mathematically eliminated, or it's a super long shot to have any chance in the division, maybe they'll give Winston a chance then. But I think they got to find out still about Jameis, and I think if the season would end today, Tommy, we'd go in to the offseason much like we did last year and think we don't know.
Well, Chance makes a good point. The offense was bad when Jameis Winston was healthy. And then he makes another point. If the Saints and Carolina both win this weekend, everybody in the division is 3-5. There'll be a 4-way tie in the NFC South. Craziness, but hey, so in the big picture, the Saints are still in the playoff hunt, as bad as it's been.
By the way, this weekend in the Dome, the New Orleans Saints are honoring two brand new inductees into the Saints Hall of Fame, former players. Fred McAfee, who was a really good special teams player back in the 80s and 90s. And then also Devery Henderson, former Opelousas and LSU star. Devery, who holds the record for most yards per catch, I think 18 or something like that per catch. Devery's going into the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame. And then over in Atlanta, Todd McClure is going to be inducted into the Falcons Ring of Honor, which is a tremendous accomplishment. And I know his family's going out over there, leaving today, and going to have a great weekend. And so happy for Todd. So big weekend in the Hall of Fame world for both those franchises.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. I'm happy for Todd and his family. Side story, Ronnie. I guess I could say this. Todd's cousin is my physical therapist.
Okay.
So
God bless her or him.
Yeah. She does great though. She does great.
Okay. So, by the way, speaking of that, you know what I joined? I mean, they're not a sponsor, so I'm not going to give them a shout out. But you know those like stretch places, like those, they got chains of them around the country where you basically go get stretched. I think they have Stretch Zone, they got Stretch Lab, they've got these different places that instead of getting a massage or instead of going and getting a workout, you get a stretch, like a 30-minute stretch. Well, I did 2 of those this past week. Signed up at a place in town where I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 a week. TK, game changer, coach. This is great stuff. They basically put you in a figure 8 in different kind of pretzel positions and stretch every part of your body from your neck all the way down to your toes and everything in between for 30 minutes. About 25, 30 different stretches, and you're on a table and they strap you down in different ways. It's crazy, but it's great, and it's supposed to help the golf game. It's supposed to help the turn, in the golf game. So we'll see. I'll let you know in a couple weeks.
All right, that sounds interesting. Hey, we got a question here. Are we going to see some? Byron Painter says, "Are we going to see some Rougarou and Barstool cross promotional events now?"
Well, listen, the Rougarou is all about that, so it's up to El Presidente.
And all right, I know you can't see it, but Byron also said they need Ronnie to do a guest pizza review.
I'd be down with that. By the way, Barstool Sports, El Presidente, he did a pizza review in Baton Rouge at Red Zeppelin. Gave it a 6.8 or 6.9 rating on the pizza. Loved the venue, loved the owners, loved the place. That was the first place he went to this past Friday night when he landed in Baton Rouge before he got to LeBair's to check in. He went there, did a pizza review, only gave it a 6.8 or 6.9, which is not really, really high. It's just solid. But now yesterday, he posted a pizza review from Miami. He was in Miami this week. He's got a home there. And he posted a pizza review, and if you're a Baton Rouge Rougarou fan, you're going to like this. Now, we're going to show you the video. We're going to play the pizza review for you right now. This was Dave Portnoy, El Presidente. Give him a follow. Give Baton Rouge Rougarou a follow. Spread the love. Go to brrougarou.com or go to @brrougarou on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a follow. And Dave's rocking this jersey. Now, let me tell you, on Saturday morning when we were wrapping up Sports Shorts radio at the new Barstool Sportsbook inside LeBair's, he was there having breakfast with the CEO of Penn Entertainment, and Casey McKenzie and his daughter and friend were having breakfast at the same restaurant. And as we gave Casey, he works for the Rougarou as well, we gave him a jersey, and we're like, hey, hopefully we run into Portnoy on Friday or Saturday because we know he likes jerseys and repping minor league teams and things like that. So sure enough, there he is at the booth right next to Casey, finishes up breakfast. He was appreciative, took a picture with Casey's daughter, and then unbeknownst to us, wore it for about 3 hours on Saturday, had a bunch of social media posts and Instagram lives and all that in our jersey. Then he went on a tirade watching soccer on Wednesday in our jersey. And then yesterday they posted the pizza review from South Beach in Miami. So take a look at this. Check it out. If you like the jersey, by the way, go to brrougarou.com. What's up, TK?
Well, and right when I was putting it here on our show, it was over 68,000 views. So the Rougarou getting a lot of eyeballs. All right, I'm gonna go away. Ronnie's gonna stay here, and we're gonna play the video for you.
Yeah, if you like the jersey, go to brrougarou.com. You can have one just like it. Here's the pizza review from Dave Portnoy.
We got to play that another day. When I put it up, it gave me a different screen.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so I'll get that fixed, and we'll play it for everybody on Monday Sports Shorts Daily.
All right, technical
So
difficulty.
my bad, technical difficulty. I mean, you
But
just
you can
threw
check
that
it
on
out.
me like 1 minute before we went on air. You were like, can you play this video?
You can check it out if you go to any of our social media
Well, if you go to,
pages.
I'll tell you how I found it. You go to YouTube, just put Dave Portnoy Pizza Review. It's the first or second one on there, and you'll be able to watch it. So go ahead and do that.
Yeah, or how about this? Go to our Facebook page or Twitter. We've reposted it. So
yeah, okay, that's better. And then make sure you like and share. Make sure you get all over Baton Rouge Rougarou. I know it's only the end of October, but Rougarou, don't forget them. You got the hat and shirt on.
Yeah, you can get a lot of the swag, including the shirt. All right. So anyway, really cool story. We appreciate the love that Dave's been throwing us this week, and we got some cool new gear and stuff like that we're going to have for you in the spring. Let's talk about the LSU Alabama game for a minute, TK. LSU's going into the bye week. Traditionally, this is the bye week for both teams. It's an unbelievable how things have changed over the last couple of weeks as far as the outlook of this team. The fact that LSU fans are going into this bye week, even though they're a double-digit dog to Alabama, there's not many people you talk to that don't think that LSU has a chance 6 o'clock next Saturday in Tiger Stadium. In fact, I think LSU fans seem like they're more optimistic than Alabama fans.
Yeah, by the way, I have a screenshot of Portnoy wearing the jersey, the pizza review, and it's got a link. So we do have a screenshot. He's got the number 32, Baton Rouge, the black jersey. Really looks great. So we'll leave that up for a minute. Ronnie, a lot of talk about LSU Bama. A lot of people buying tickets. I had a friend of mine. I sold 6 tickets for him, 4 together, 2 together to other people. And it's going to be packed. It's going to be a big crowd. And LSU's still getting 14.5 points. Today, take that 14.5. I talked to people yesterday who are taking LSU on the money line at plus 245, Ronnie.
Wow. 14.5 is a lot. You like the hook. Alabama has played A&M close. Obviously, we know they've lost. They haven't really looked unbelievably dominant against high-end teams. So, yeah, I think that's right now. I would go ahead and take that. I think that 14.5 is a good bet for LSU. By the way, let's talk a little bit about the World Series. That starts tomorrow or tonight, rather. And look, I'm glad that they made the change, and Aaron Nola now is going to go in Game 1 instead of Wheeler for the Philadelphia Phillies, who are the fan favorite around the country. Obviously, the Astros are the favorites in Texas, but everywhere else, I think, especially after we know that they cheated back in 2007-8, that people are really anti-Astros around the country, so everybody pulling for Philly. But tough ass today for Nola going against arguably Verlander, arguably the best postseason pitcher of all time. I mean, that's kind of the rarefied air that Verlander is running into. If he has another couple of good starts, he literally might be considered the greatest postseason pitcher of all time, statistically. And so, I mean, the Astros at home with both teams have had a long layoff. Both teams are fully rested, healed, ready to go. The roof is going to be probably closed. Ball flies when the roof's closed. I don't think this is a good spot for Nola. There's no reason to believe Verlander's number 1 in the league in ERA and WHIP and everything. Like, there's no reason to believe Verlander's going to have a bad outing. I have to take the Astros tonight, even though you do get plus, I think, 150, 160 if you take Nola.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, the over and under is sitting at 7. I keep waiting to see if it goes down to 6.5 because I want to bet the over. And I like the Astros minus a 1.5. And here's what happened. Wheeler had an injury earlier in the year, and he's been on a pitch count. They hadn't let him throw over 80 or 86 pitches this year. So they originally announced him to start. Then they figured another day's rest because of his arm would be a good thing. Nola's ready to go. He's plenty rested. So there you go. So you got Aaron Nola. You got Alex Bregman. Obviously, he'll probably hit 3rd or 4th. I don't think the lineup's posted yet. He's been hitting 4th. And, there's a lot of storylines here. The Phillies are a wild card team. That provides hope in the future. Astros are probably the best team. They're favorite. Let's see, I got it right here, Ronnie. They are to win the series. the Astros are now minus $1.85. You can get Philly at plus 160 to win the series. Tonight's game, the Astros are minus $1.65. Over and under. If it bounces down to 6.5, I'm jumping on the over, or I'll buy it down.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one for me. I think to me, I would do the over/under bet. I had 6.5 last night, so you're telling me it's going up to 7. It's hard. I'm not going to bet money against Aaron Nola because obviously I want him to win. I'm going to be pulling like hell for him. But that said, I don't. I mean, look, if Verlander and the Astros lose, it's such a low percentage that they lose tonight. I mean, in my opinion, he's been spectacular in the postseason. He's been, spectacular at home. They're well rested. This feels like game one. The Astros jumping all over, and then maybe Wheeler can get them back right game 2, but we'll see. A little side note: the Live Golf Tour is playing at Trump Doral at the Blue Monster course in Miami, in Doral, Florida, right outside of Miami this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday was the Pro-Am. Brett McCabe, former LSU pitcher, who's a big, he owns a company called the Mindside, and they work with tons of professional golfers, college golfers. They work with Alabama athletics, including Alabama football. Just on the mental side, he's a psychologist, so it has sports psychology as his forte. He's actually there. Had dinner last night with Louis Garcia at Garcia Seafood. They FaceTime me, and he's there working with a number of golfers that are on the Live Tour that are his clients. And so he'll be there all weekend, kind of walking with them, working with them, talking with them. So I had a fun time with Brett. I said, so no loyalty, huh, to the PGA? It's just whoever will pay you. He said, "Oh yeah." He says, "I work for the players, not for the tour." I was like, "Oh, okay, good deal."
And also there was a huge lawsuit filed this week. PGA Tour is suing the people that are behind the Live Tour, saying they broke the contracts of PGA players. This thing's gonna be hung up in court for years and years and years, and it has really changed the landscape of golf, pro golf.
Right.
For sure. I mean, and we don't know the unintended consequences. I mean, what happens with the Masters next year? Some people can't play, or do they play? How strong is the field? I mean, and here's the thing, Ronnie. If you and I sit down in a poker game and you got 10 grand in your pocket and I got 2 grand in mine, you're going to win. Well, Live has got more money than PGA Tour. Okay, much money as the PGA Tour has, billions of dollars, but Live Golf's got way more. I mean, even close.
I'll tell you this, Tommy. Yesterday was funny. Trump played in the Pro-Am. Donald Trump played in it, and he hits his first tee shot off of number 1, a drive off number 1, and he turns to all the cameras and he said, "Bet Biden couldn't do that, could he?" Because he smoked one right down the middle, nice athletic swing. He said, "I bet Biden couldn't ever do that, huh? No chance he could do that." I mean, he's the best.
He
man.
just can't lay off. All right, that's him. That's the Donald Trump.
Looks like he'll be back on Twitter next week too. Is what they're saying.
Because Elon Musk took over Twitter, so So I'm sure Trump's going to be one of the first. And Elon there were 7,500 employees at Twitter. Now there are 2,500, and he fired the top 5 people. When he took over yesterday, he said, "Y'all out of here." So Trump might be in charge of Twitter. Who knows?
By the way, before we get out of here, TK, tell us about that shirt and what it means. What's going on today?
Yeah, I got my Holy Cross football shirt on. Former LSU Tiger, All-SEC defensive lineman Roland Barbe gave me this shirt. Of course, Coach Nick Salter from Maggio, one of my best friends. I saw him at our reunion last week. This is the 100th year of Holy Cross and Jesuit playing football in New Orleans. Now, this is the 103rd matchup, because back in the 60s, there were a couple of years when they played twice, once for a state championship. So it's a big night. Tag only going to have 20,000 people there tonight, no doubt. They're all kind of honoring the military and legends from both schools. 100th year anniversary of Holy Cross Jesuit. It's a big thing. I'm going to tell you how big it is. As you know, Ronnie, Holy Cross recently built a new campus, okay? Well, when they were putting the plans together for the basketball gym, and somebody, the company said, "Well, how many seats do we want in the gym?" And the principal at the time said, "Hold on." He called Jesuit, who's known for having the biggest high school on-campus gym in the city. They said, how many people y'all seat at Jesuit for that y'all's gym? They said 2,500. So he told the contractors, we want 2,501 seats at Holy Cross so that it would be bigger than Jesuit. So that's a big thing. I'm a Holy Cross graduate. It's a big, big thing. Always has been, always will be. That game's actually live on Your View tonight. For those of you that might want to just take a peek and see the crowd at Tad Gormley, Holy Cross Jesuit, 7 o'clock kick. It's at CrescentCitySports.com and on Your View, where you could, like I said, you don't want to sit and watch the whole game, but look at the crowd and the pageantry and all that good stuff. Holy Cross and Jesuit, they're not having their best of years. Jesuit's a little better, but you never know in this game.
Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story before we get out of here. Coach Berman did the same thing back in the late 80s. I think it was 89 or 90 whenever they got a new scoreboard at the old Alex Box Stadium. And at the time, he called Florida State had the biggest on-campus scoreboard. And LSU got theirs 1 foot taller, 1 foot wider than Florida State at that time. All right, we'll be back for more Sports Shorts daily on Monday morning.
All right, we're going to go Monday, even though you got the big golf.
Oh, actually, no, we're not. We're not going to go Monday because we have the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame golf tournament, and I'll be out there. That's at 10 a.m.
We'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week. I'll be out at Court Street Cafe at Port Allen Tuesday. And, of course, don't forget Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Ronnie, guess what? People are already ordering turkeys, fried, rotisserie, or smoked. Yeah, I know it's early. All the side dishes, you can go to Tremonti's.com and get the information, or stop by on Jefferson Highway, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. Lunch special today, fried catfish with crawfish etouffee poured over the top. And, hey, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Don't forget Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Tell us about our new location for tomorrow's show.
Yeah, we're going to be down in Plaquemine in God's country tomorrow. Looking forward to that from 10 until noon. We've been on the west side, of course, before when we've been over there at Bruley Walk-Ons, and we'll continue to be at Bruley Walk-Ons, and looking forward to that, no question about it. But tomorrow we're going to go a little bit further south. We'll be over there in Plaquemine. It'll be Tommy Chrysan, myself, Hunter, Derry Beckwith will join us. So looking forward to that. We probably get there, I don't know. We'll get there probably, about 9:30, have a little breakfast tomorrow from 10 until 12.
All right, Ronnie, we got a black screen for you, but people can still hear you. We wish everybody a good weekend. Like and share this video. That's important. Hit the like button, share it, and we'll come at you Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week. And don't forget Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow. Hey, Ronnie's back. There we go. And I got the picture of Dave Portnoy, the still shot, the Barstool Pizza review from the Flatbed House in Miami Beach, Florida. He's got the Baton Rouge Rougarou. He's wearing number 32. It's a screenshot on our picture right now.
Check out the video on our social media. Yep.
Yeah, go to Baton Rouge Rougarou Facebook, Twitter. You can watch the video of him being a Rougarou.
All right, we'll be back on Monday. Until then, have a great one. Signing off.
Back Tuesday, Ronnie.
Or Tuesday. We'll be back Tuesday. Have a great one, everybody.
Go